my style of nutrition is very different than what I see a lot in the fitness space. I come from that bodybuilding kind of mentality where it's rice and chicken and broccoli, and that's what you're eating 4 or 5 times a day. And my perspective has changed a lot since I did my bodybuilding show, probably about, I think it's 5 years now. And at that time, I was all in on that you need to have the exact same meals, you need to keep it as rigid and as structured as possible. And this was kind of the same period of time that If It Fits Your Macros started to become popular. And that made me want to do that because obviously, if you're allowed to have Pop Tarts, you're allowed to have ice cream. And as long as it fits within your macros, like, yeah, I'm going to do that versus eating just chicken and broccoli and rice. But what I've learned through that is, for me at least, and for a lot of my clients, is that led to binging, that led to a lot of overeating and a lot of overconsumption. The thing that I kind of took out of that and that I've transitioned and taken my personal experiences and applied and how I communicate with my clients is I use an 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time, I'm eating as clean as possible for that situation. So if I'm going out to eat, I'm going to get something a little bit lighter. And then 20% of the time, I'm having fun with it. I'm not going crazy because if you have like The Rock, if you're having a 10,000 calorie cheat day on Saturday, or even just a singular cheat meal, like that's going to throw off the numbers for the rest of the week because calories still do matter. But 20% of the time, you're giving yourself that freedom and that opportunity to taste those good foods, to experience life with friends and family, and not restricting yourself too much. When I was competing for my bodybuilding show and getting ready, I went on a vacation with my family to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with that, but it's a beach community out in the ocean in North Carolina. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. I was there for 2 weeks after I was done with university. It's kind of what me and my dad did to meet up with my brother and my nephew and hang out there for about a week and then go back up to New Hampshire for the summer. And what I did during that time is before I even left for that vacation, I spent a couple days preparing all the food I would need. I was eating 4 to 5 meals per day, and I was going to be gone for a long weekend, so 4 days. And I prepared all of those meals, put them in a cooler, and then when my dad came to pick me up, put them all in my cooler. I was good to go for the week. A lot of dedication, a lot of commitment. I was about 4 weeks out, so it was important for me not to go too off the rails. And what happened during that vacation was I would sit there with my family, watching them eat their food at the restaurants, because we're on vacation, so they're not cooking in the hotel. And I was just sitting there watching them, drinking my water. Usually I wasn't eating prior to their meal either, just because the timing wouldn't work out. So I'd sit there hungry, just watching them eat. It's an awful experience. It's not bringing you closer to your family. It's not providing that full experience that you should have vacationing with your family, those good memories with the good food. And then after those meals, I'd sit in the car, driving back to the hotel, eating my cold meal because we didn't have a microwave. And I would just be eating ground turkey, sweet potato, and green beans with a little bit of olive oil on top. And that was my meal for 4 days, 4 times a day. When I was looking forward to having oatmeal, it's an issue. I absolutely detest oatmeal. I think it's really gross. I don't enjoy it. So I knew during that preparation, as I was getting leaner and leaner, when oatmeal sounded delightful, that it was going to be an issue. And then the final week, I was so depleted. I was about 150 pounds at 6'2". That's not great. That's super, super skinny, very, very low body fat. And I was still muscular. And my family, my mom specifically, all described me as being ghostly and like having sunken in eyes and a really tight jawline, which I already have a very square jaw, but when everything gets really sucked in and it's almost like you're a raisin, it doesn't look healthy. It looks like you're genuinely starving yourself. And I took issue with that because I started working out and I started bodybuilding because I didn't want to be that skinny kid. So it was putting myself back into being that skinny kid with the whole mentality of no longer being that skinny kid. And it just didn't make sense. So it really messed with my mentality because I was doing everything that I thought I needed to do to portray that big muscular person, while being just as skinny as I was when I was running track and field. And it genuinely messed with me. It caused a significant period of depression, a significant period of overeating. And it's been something that I've struggled with in terms of consistency of eating well and consistency of working out well, that has led to me really not enjoying that and not enjoying those really strict diets. Even if they're for a short period, I prefer those 80% good meals, a little bit of eating whatever you like and enjoying yourself, and making that more of a lifestyle shift and less of a you're dieting. We want to make sustainable habits in your life in order for you to maintain and to progress and to live in the body that you want to. So it's important to create balance and to create these habits to where you're able to enjoy those things that you want to with your friends and with your families, but you're still able to reach the goals with body composition and with appearance that you want. That is why I believe the 80-20 rule is the most effective dieting structure that you can apply in your day-to-day life that's going to make you fit, happy, and healthy.